Hi everyone, good morning. It's Carla Ramitis from the Innovation Agency, and it's another quick video for you. I'm going to be joined today by Jen Cohan, and we are going to run through some of the Zoom functionality just to really help you feel a little bit more confident, less anxious about coming into a Zoom room or a Zoom account. So Jen is waiting. I'm just going to admit her now. Hi, morning Jen.
Hi, Carla.
Thanks for joining.
Of course.
So I'd just like to run through a few things on Zoom. Hopefully this will make people feel less anxious as they join a new Zoom room or account or something that someone set up, and also if they want to host one too. So I'm going to act as host today, and then we'll move into going through some of your participant stuff. Jen, if that's okay, you can talk us through those. So what you want to do is establish the norms. So when you've got a group of people, you want to ask them to mute. That'll make it easier for people. But if at some point you do need to do that, then you can actually control them yourself. So if you go on to participants, which is at the bottom of your screen, you'll get a list of everybody who's on that meeting. So I've just got Jen Cohan's name now, and I'm just going to mute Jen. Can you talk for me, Jen? So it's worked. So that's great. Lovely. And you can also see there on the participant list, I've got more options. So I can also stop the video. I can make Jen a host or a co-host. I can also allow Jen to record. I can rename Jen. So this is a really great way, actually. I've seen this on a couple of Zoom meetings where people have asked others to put their Twitter handles on or their email addresses on so they can connect quicker, which is a really nice idea. Or I can actually move Jen into a waiting room, or I can kick Jen out of the meeting. Wow. So what a really good way to monitor some of the chat is actually to use the raise hand function. So Jen, could you show us that?
Sure. So I'm going to hover over at the bottom of my screen so that my menu pops up, and then I'm going to choose from reactions. I'm going to choose a hand symbol. It also says clap. So, but to raise your hand, it's a handy symbol.
And there's a couple of options on there as well where you can put your thumbs up too. And if you're on a tablet or a device, your options may be at the top rather than at the bottom. We're using a laptop today, so that could be something that you'll need to look out for too. Another thing that is really useful is the chat function. This is particularly good if you want to ask a lot of people questions, or if you want to chat privately with people. It's really good. So Jen, can you try that out for us? So in the bar now, she's put hello everyone. We can also, as a host, add files, so you can even drop them straight from your computer and people can access those, which is really handy. Say, for example, if you've got an agenda that you want to share or a document that's come up that's really interesting for the conversation. And you can also save the chat too, so you don't need to screenshot them, you don't need to mess about with anything like that. You can capture lots of information really quickly. So if as a host, if you are having a break, we do encourage health and well-being is really important on Zoom calls too. We're not able to just get away from our screens as often as we would normally do. So what's really important is that we give people a break. And if you are away, make sure that you mute yourself. Also, a handy tip, if you don't want to keep using the controls, Jen, would you like to show us what you can do without clicking on mute?
Oops, sorry, I just muted myself. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, oops. Now I'm unmuted, but what I can do is once it's muted, I can press and hold the space bar so that I can talk. And then once I lift my finger off the space.
Fantastic. So it's a really good technique, I think, to be able to sort of act a little bit more on the fly rather than trying to find the mouse, especially on a laptop. It can be a little bit more difficult. So I think really it was interesting actually just on that, because we had a webinar with the Innovation Scouts and they said that one of the biggest things the digital the biggest digital faux pas so far was actually not unmuting themselves and muting themselves at wrong points. So it'd be interesting to see how many more people are doing that. I know I definitely.
The good news is, I think everyone is very gracious because we've all done it.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. Again, I was listening to a webinar on how to use Zoom and virtual platforms more effectively, and what they were saying is that we need to really normalize some of this stuff that we don't know. We are going to have connection issues. That's, you know, the response should be, you know, how about you can dial in on giving options rather than, you know, sort of making that an awkward moment for somebody.
We're all in it together.
Absolutely. So I hope you find this video useful. Thanks so much for Jen for joining. It's great to be able to show you with a colleague. So take care everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.